Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Sean, the college pastor at Grafted. It's great to have you online this evening. We're rolling out some new stuff tonight, and I'm glad you've chosen to join us because we want to give you a little bit about what's happening in Grafted over these next few weeks while we are more or less condensed to our own homes and we're not able to gather together. We've got some great things planned. Your staff has been working behind the scenes, and we're putting together some activities for you to do on a daily and weekly basis. So if I could, let me roll through a handful of what we're doing so you have an idea of where we're going. We're gonna talk about Friday nights, we're gonna talk about Radix, we're gonna talk about the Grafted Viral Challenge, and we're gonna be talking about some other connections that we're doing throughout the week. So here's how it rolls out. Friday nights, they're happening. Same as they've always been, except you're not gonna be here with me and with the rest of the serving staff, senior staff, and all your friends. You're gonna be in your home and you're just gonna log in onto YouTube and we're gonna have our Friday nights there. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have singing, we'll have testimonies and prayer. We're gonna have great times on Friday nights. For the next 2 Fridays, I'm gonna be looking at some various topics, topical in nature, that are gonna address specific issues of the virus. We heard from Chris yesterday on Sunday morning about the sovereignty of God and how to live a worry-free life. And we're gonna take that and move one step farther down the road and apply it to our lives in different ways that will look at what do I do with my newfound sabbatical? Locked at home, how do I make the best use of my time? So we'll be looking at that this Friday. And so on Friday night, again, you can log in and go to YouTube, and we're gonna have all of our Friday nights broadcast across there. It's gonna be a great time together. Now, in addition to Friday nights, we are still doing Radix every week. So if you are a Tuesday Radix person, you're meeting Tuesday nights. If you are a Wednesday Radix person, you're meeting Wednesday nights. Pretty simple. However, you're not meeting at people's houses, you're meeting at your house. We are shifting, and we're gonna be using the Zoom technology. It's an app, Zoom, Z-O-O-M, there it is, so that you can connect with us. And basically what Zoom allows us to do is to put up to 100 people into one virtual room together. And we're gonna have some time of fellowship at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. You get all this information either on the screen right now or in Slack. And we're gonna have our normal Radix times. There's gonna be teaching, we'll still be walking through the attributes of God together, and we're gonna also have some small group time on the back end. Now for this particular Tuesday, we're gonna be walking through a kind of a devotional on prayer. And we'll be having some fellowship time, and we will start back into our Attributes of God series in a week from now. Okay? So that's Radix. We want to encourage you, even if you haven't been involved in Radix, you can call Terrell Medina and get connected with where you should go, how you can connect, who you can be with in a small group, and make sure that you're attending and part of this. We want you to be connected. It is a huge priority for us. And Friday nights are not enough. And so if you could connect with us in Radix, it'd be super helpful for your own soul, helpful for us as well as we seek to encourage you and help you in those things. Okay, so that's Friday nights, and that's Radix. The third thing we're going to talk about is we're just going to call it Let's Connect. So every Monday and every Thursday, we're going to connect with you on Instagram Live, also at 7 p.m. So everything we're doing starts at 7 p.m. Monday nights are going to be an internal connection. It's going to be different members of our staff. We're going to have theology nights with Chris Ike, where you're going to be able to hop into Instagram Live and text in questions, and Chris is going to answer the most profound, difficult, stumping questions that we have about the Bible, about God, and about theology. Chris will be online, and he's going to work through that. And the other one that we're going to do is we're going to have a panel discussion with George, where we're going to have different staff people together. We'll have some different types of practical questions and different discussion types and things of that nature. And so all of this will be coming. That will all be on Monday nights. They're going to be just a great time for us to do something live and have some spiritual and focused time together. Thursday nights are going to be a little bit different. We're going to call it maybe Friends of FBC. And I don't know what the name is going to be, but for sure we're going to have guys that are not a part of our church, but that are friends of ours, come in live on Instagram Live and talk to us. This Thursday we have Kurt Gebhardt, the one and only. The big man himself is going to join us this Thursday at 7 p.m. online. He and I are going to be having a conversation live together on Instagram Live, and we're going to find out what's going on in his life. We're going to find out what's happening in Florida, what's happening in his ministry and his family, but also he's going to encourage us, and we're going to have a chance to ask him questions back and forth. It's going to be a great time. So that is coming this Thursday night. We're looking at Shannon Hurley and some of our other missionaries to add to that down the road. So it's going to be a great time of live interaction with different people. So that's Monday nights are going to be internal, kind of doing different things with our staff. Tuesday or Wednesday is going to be our Radix times. Thursday is going to be with our friends of FBC, Kurt Gebhardt's, Shannon Hurley, those type of guys. And Friday nights are going to be the same way they've always been. We're going to be together preaching the word. And I should mention, by the way, on Friday nights, after we do those 2 weeks, we're going to jump back into Revelation and look starting in chapter 6, where we start moving towards the end. So we're going to see the book that was in the hand of him who sat on the throne. It has 7 seals. Remember Revelation 5:1? Well, in chapter 6, verse 3, he breaks the first seal, and we see what happens. And so we're looking forward to that and to getting into the next steps in Revelation, the judgment of God, and we will carry this out to its completion by the end of the semester. Last thing on my list for you tonight is what we're calling the Grafted Viral Challenge. And this is something that our staff has worked through together, and here's the simple reality. More than likely, you're at home right now, and you don't have a whole lot to do. If your school has all but decreased to nothing, if your job has all but decreased to nothing, if your social life and your dating life and your athletic life have all decreased down to nothing, and you're really familiar with the 4 walls of your room, and you're really familiar with your pet, and you're getting annoyed at your siblings, and you're kind of starting to figure out, what do I do? We've got a challenge for you. Grafted has a challenge for you. Because in this time, we want to stay sharp. We want to stay on fire for Christ. In fact, we want to grow through this trial, and we want to come out the other side knowing Jesus more. And so the challenge that we're putting in front of all of us has 6 components to it. And we want you to be part of this. It's a daily challenge that's going to go for 4 or 5 weeks. And you're going to get a sheet that you can download that's going to have a way you can fill out all the different boxes and keep track of what you're doing. But in general, this is what it's going to be. First and foremost, in the next 30 days, we're going to read the entire New Testament. All right? We're going to read the New Testament. That's challenge number 1. Get into our Bibles. We've got time. I know you're watching YouTube videos. I know you're playing video games. I know that you're Instagramming people. You're watching way too much Netflix. So there's an opportunity to turn off the device and to turn on the Word of God. So this is probably 8 or 9 chapters a day. It will run Monday through Friday. You'll have Saturdays and Sundays to catch up. And 8 or 9 chapters a day, starting in Matthew and working straight through to Revelation. We're going to hammer that thing out and get done in 30 days. We're not starting today, Monday. We're starting tomorrow, Tuesday. And so all that information is available to you on our website and in the email, Slack, Instagram that Lainey's put up. Second part is we're going to pray. And prayer is awesome, and we don't pray enough. And we're going to take this opportunity to reset and to pray differently and to pray more consistently. And so if you've been struggling in your prayer life, this would be a good opportunity for you to take some steps in the right direction. So for week number 1, we're going to pray for 15 minutes a day. Week number 2, we're going to pray for 20 minutes a day. Week number 3, we're going to pray for 30 minutes a day. Week number 4 for 45 minutes a day. And then week number 5, we'll see if we get to week number 5, but that will be 60 minutes a day. And so each week we're going to give you some instruction on how to pray and how to deepen your prayer life, and we'll come out in that Monday morning email, and it'll be helpful for you as you seek to pray. And we'll help you because we don't need to sit down for 1 straight hour and pray. We can break it up, maybe get some people to pray together with, but we're going to work through ways to help build a more consistent and deeper prayer life together. Number 3, part of the viral challenge, exercise 4 times a week. That's right. You can control your environment right now because you've got plenty of time. And you've got plenty of resources in your house, whether you go out for a run, whether you do push-ups or pull-ups or hop onto some website and do some yoga or Pilates. I did Pilates yesterday. I hate Pilates. I don't ever want to do it again. It's my first time, probably my last. But anyway, you figure out some way to exercise 4 times a week. Control your environment, be disciplined, and get to work. Next, number 4, we're calling this one anothering. One anothering. What does that mean? The New Testament's full of commands that are addressed to one another. We are to love one another. We are to pray for one another. We are to confess our sins to one another. We are to forgive one another, and so on and so forth. Defer to one another in honor. There's so many of them. And so the one another's are ways that the body can connect as individuals and create a community together to serve each other and to help, Galatians 6:2, to bear one another's burdens. And so that's what we want to do with the one another's. And I don't know exactly what that means, but we're going to challenge you to do 3 one another's per week. I'm thinking this maybe has something to do with writing cards or writing letters to people, or pre-recording videos of yourself, encouraging another person and sending it to them. It's something where you are taking extra steps, thoughtful, that take a little bit of energy, and that you're seeking to bless somebody else, whether it's a friend, somebody in or outside the ministry, a family member. Maybe it's somebody in the church. We're going to work on getting a list for you of elderly people in our church where they don't have access, they don't know how to use the internet. They're the most susceptible to the virus, and so they're the most contained. And so we're going to look at ways to serve them as part of this. But that's number 4 is called the one anotherings. Number 5 is to read a book or 2 from the Grafted library. It's right here. There are almost 1,000 books here, and there's more at AJ's house. And so with this, you have the opportunity to go on our website, www.fbccollegeministry.com. Scroll over to the Berean library, and from there you can scroll the entire catalog of books. They're all there, and then you can click onto the link that says I want to take out a book, and put what book you want in there or 2, and our librarian will bring it straight to your house. Okay, you don't have to leave your house. We'll get it to you so you can read. Again, you've got time right now, so take advantage and just don't read all the updates on the coronavirus. Let's maybe spend some time working on our souls as well. Okay, number 6, and finally, is listen to 1 sermon per week. 1 additional extra sermon per week. So you're already hearing me on Friday nights. You're going to hear messages about the attributes of God on Tuesday or Wednesday. You got your Sunday morning, and we're saying, hey, go ahead and stream, download 1 more message per week. On the weekly email, Monday mornings, you're going to have 2 or 3 options every single week, and you just pick one and listen to that. Okay, so that's the challenge, revolves around those 6 things. About reading the Bible, it's about praying, it's about one anothering, can't remember them all, it's about exercising, it's about reading a book from the Grafted library, and it's also about listening to sermons. So that's what we're challenging you to do. We're going to keep tabs on it to see who's doing what, not a competition, but just so that everybody knows that we're involved with this, and we're going to see how it goes. But again, the challenge to you is in the words of the Apostle Paul from Ephesians chapter 5. He says, act as wise men, not as unwise men. He says before the days are evil, and he says we need to, in that verse, redeem the time. And so how are you going to redeem the time that you have? This is a gift from God in that sense. It's a blessing to have extra time. The question is, are you going to use it to become more like Christ, or are you going to allow yourself to drift and become more and more distant from Christ? And so that's what the challenge is all about, is helping you stay white hot for Jesus Christ. And if you're struggling right now, well, here's some tools to help you to get back on track to love Christ and walk with Him. So that's what we got going on here in the ministry. We're excited. It's possible that this whole thing folds and we're back into our normal routine in a few weeks. I doubt it. But if that's the case, then we'll can all this and go back to the normal. But so long as we're separated, we're working on ways to get you and me, the staff, students, everybody connected together so that we are continuing to grow in love for one another and for Jesus Christ. So will you help us and go the extra mile, take some steps on your behalf to be active and to be involved in the ministry? We need you just as much as you need us. So would you be part with us in this? We're looking forward to a great few weeks. Tomorrow night at Radix, remember, we're going to be talking about prayer. We're going to be talking on Zoom, and so you'll get all those instructions via Slack, and AJ and George will help with that, and then we're going to have a great small time together. And then I will see you Thursday night with Kurt Gephardt at 7 p.m. on Instagram Live, and then Friday night we'll be right here again. We'll be dialed in and hearing a message from God's Word on how to make it through your sabbatical. All right, love you guys. Looking forward to seeing you. Have a good night.